All right, everybody, welcome to a challenge that I'm doing here. I'm calling it They Might Be Giants. And of course, we're going to use the San Francisco Giants for this, but the concept of this build is that I'm going to try to trade for essentially the tallest lineup that we can possibly get uh, with major league players. So there's a number of things that I'd like to accomplished with this. Uh, Mostly it's just silly, right? So we are going to go in and check on our players and see up here in the vital stats. We're seeing Kurt Casale is 6'3", Buster Posey 6'1". So like Buster Posey's probably going to be traded away. So what we want to do is find and try to get a lineup of essentially the tallest players at every position that we can get. And once we get this lineup together, we're going to simulate through the year and see how they do. So we're going to have to do a player search, and we want to go to height, right? Okay, so here's a 7-footer. Like, I don't care that he's a half a star. We want a 7-footer. So these guys are, I'm assuming he's fragile, but he's a ground ball pitcher. So Braden Wayer, uh, and I'm in commissioner mode just in case we need to. Why won't it let me try to sign him? Short list. Oh, maybe because he's still in college. All right. Is Hunter Cope gonna be the same situation? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go through and put together a roster of some of the tallest players in the league, and then we'll simulate from there. All right. So we're gonna bring you back here, and I'll show you what the roster looks like. You might be immediately looking at this saying, Joey Bart, you didn't even make any changes. But trust me, the whole roster is different because these guys are all super tall now. I can talk you through the lineup, though. We've got, of course, the tall O'Neill Cruz playing shortstop, 6'7", followed by left fielder DJ Peters at 6'6", followed by the iconic Aaron Judge at 6'7". He's obviously, we could put him in the 3 or 4 hole. I put him in 3 for now. We can move it later. In the 4 hole, we have 6'5" Daniel Pinheiro. That batting average in AAA isn't super promising, but I don't know that he'll last in the 4 hole. But we have him. Taylor Jones is 6'7" first baseman. Then at catcher, we have the 6'6" Grayson Greiner, uh, who has absolutely terrible batting average. So we'll see how that goes. And then the 6'10" Yorkis Landy Alvarez, very low rated. We'll see how he does. And then Hunter Bishop is our center fielder, also low rated. No stats on those guys. So we'll see what this does. In terms of backups, we have Joey Bart at 6'3". It's a little bit, I tried to find a taller one, but I figured since Bart was on the roster, I just kept him. Backing up at first base, we have Will Matheson. No stats, but he's 6'7". And then backing up in the outfield, we have Sam Hilliard, who's 6'5". He's 70 defense, so he might actually get some play time. And then this young fella here, Mauro Bonifacio, also at 6'7". Actually, tons of potential. I don't plan on playing this save long, but a 2.5-star potential. Somebody that actually seems half decent. So I'm interested to see how that takes shape. But then for our rotation, There's actually some very good, very tall players. So Luca Giolito is 6'6", and we've got Tyler Glass now at 6'8", and then ideally we would put Chris Sale in here to have a lefty, and because he's 6'6", but he's out with Tommy John surgery for 2 to 3 months, so we will probably bring him in at the All-Star break. So third in the rotation, we have Bailey Ober at 6'9", Brian Howard at 6'9", and then Sean, I'm assuming it's Haley at 6'11". I believe he might be the tallest player we have on the roster. There's a 7-footer who's in college, and I can't sign him. So closing, we have Brad Week at 6'9", Chris Martin set up at 6'8", Aaron Sledgers at 6'10" as our you use off in middle relief, and then along with him in middle relief is Tyler Rogers at 6'5", and we've got a whole batch here of bullpen arms: Nolan Long at 6'10", Ashton Godot at 6'6", Matt Frisbee at 6'5", Aaron Sanchez at 6'4", and Chris Sale, as I said, at 6'6". But Sanchez at 6'4" is the shortest person in our pitching staff. I thought about replacing him with another low performing player, but I feel like he should be okay, and he's not that short. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do some like batch playing. We're just gonna simulate. I'm not gonna be playing very many of these. We'll try to get to the All-Star break here. We'll see. We've already had one of our big players go out. So that was one thing I was hoping to have some players available to easily call up in these sorts of situations. I don't have any specific super tall players, but maybe what we can do here, I'll show you what my process looked like. So we can go into find a free agent. I just have it sorted by height, and then there's not a whole lot out here. There were a few players that I had offered. Maybe they did eventually sign. How tall? Yeah, Forrest Snow is 6'7". That'll work. And then, do I have anybody else here with Nolan Riggs is 6'8"? Probably somebody else that I had signed earlier. Okay. All right. We'll see how these guys do. So we're not going to obsess over stats too much, but we will see that we're already off to an 0-2 start. So let's see how being giant helps. Have a player. Then cut him. I don't care. Why are you telling me about this? Release. I don't care. Release them all. Release the Kraken. I could delete them. Just delete them from the universe. Okay. Alright. Are people sad that I did that? Probably. Okay. There we go. All-Star game. So we're okay. We got to win. 1-7. We're not going to be winless. Okay. I feel like with Aaron Judge on our roster, we're going to be fine, right? I mean, I don't feel like this is really we have a decent start front end of our rotation. I don't feel like this is the kind of thing that Alex Wood, he's 6'4". Yeah, let's go ahead and take him over. Let's see who of the young pitching of the young guys is really doing poorly. Like this Matt Frisbee has a 10.61 ERA, but he does have a good K per 9. I feel like maybe he's one we send down so that we can make room for Alex Wood. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm not really doing this to micromanage. I just want to see how they do here. We received a trade proposal. Is it for somebody who's huge? Here, let's discuss the trade. You want 6'4", and this guy's 5'11". Nope, don't want him. This guy is 6'1". Nope, don't want him. Anyways, you get the idea. I'm going to keep simulating, and I'll bring you back at the All-Star break. All right, so we're here at the All-Star break. And we're not having a very good year. 36-53 in fourth place in the division. Judge just got injured for like a week or so. He's doing well. I mean, he's got 20 home runs, 53 RBIs. Cruz is doing good on stolen bases. I'll walk you through the lineup here. Cruz is hitting below Mendoza. Peters is hanging in there. Judge is 240 with 20 home runs. Pinero's doing okay. Jones is okay. Griner is a catcher, 8 home runs, 210. I mean, that's not amazing. Yorkeslandi Alvarez with the 190 is less than ideal. And then Sam Hilliard with the 224 average. We just don't really have a ton of power, I guess. These guys are doing all right, but on the pitching side, you know, Luca Giolito is 3-9. I have no idea why he's doing so poorly. Maybe we need to look at, I mean, catcher ability 65 on Grayson Griner. That's actually pretty good. So Tyler Glasnow is 4-3. Bailey Ober 7-10. Chris Sale was injured, came in about a month ago, and has lost 3 decisions. We actually had, who was it? Brian Howard in that spot, and he wasn't doing terrible, but so Sale stepped in and is doing worse. This Sean Haley is actually, I mean, 4.94 ERA is not great, but I've been impressed with his ability to hang at this level as only a 24-year-old 2-star pitcher. Brad Week has 14 saves, and Chris Martin is doing pretty good in his setup role with that .76 ERA. So I don't know if maybe we should have him. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it as is. These guys are eating up innings. It just seems like maybe we tweak the order to move. Maybe we move Taylor Jones up. He seemed to be doing pretty well. I don't know if there's somebody else with maybe a better OPS we could put on batting first in the lineup to hopefully get somebody on so the Judge can knock him in. Actually, maybe I don't usually put somebody like a 6'7" first baseman batting first overall, but that does seem like that could be beneficial. Those 3 there, and then maybe, I don't know, like Hilliard in the 4-hole. He's not batting great, but that might help. So we'll put Taylor Jones up top. And oh geez, Judge was batting 7th in the lineup against lefties. Well, that could have been a lot of our problems right there. Let's go ahead and bump these 2. And let's try Hilliard in the 4th spot. We'll see what this does, and I will bring you back at the end of the year and let you see how we finished with this team full of Giants. All right, well, here we are at the end of the season, and the news is pretty awful. This team, we ended in a tie for last place in our division, 59 and 102, which I did not actually think that a team with Aaron Judge would be that bad, and I really didn't think that our pitching rotation would be that bad. We lost Bailey Ober about a month ago, who's down for several months with a serious injury, but when we just got Aaron Sledgers back. But overall, I would say I was very surprised. You know, I knew putting somebody like this Yorkis Landy Alvarez in a prominent position could be dangerous, but I mean, for people who play this game, you know, pretty acceptable defensive stats and really not a horrible hitting profile, but a lot of this is in potential more so than actuality. And the jump from rookie ball up to pro was just not a good decision on my part. I probably should have found some, but he's 6'10". You know, I mean that's the whole point of the challenge. My challenge wasn't to win. My challenge was to uh, see what a team of the tallest players I could possibly field would end up doing. And I don't know if it's you know, the product of the simulation or if height just really isn't a factor in baseball. So hopefully you got a kick out of watching this. I know I had a lot of fun doing the simulation and just imagining some of these scenarios with like monstrous player after monstrous player coming up to bat or to the mound. Um, but statistically, it didn't end up being as overwhelmingly positive for the Giants as I anticipated. So thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like this sort of thing, having fun with a simulation game, definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be doing more sports simulations on this channel in the coming days and weeks and months. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.